let's get to the subject at hand, the coronavirus 19. I say 19 because obviously there's many coronaviruses.
Yeah.
And the one that the controversy is, where is it from? Where is it from? Okay, first we have this article. It's from the Wall Street Journal. Intelligence on sick staff at Wuhan lab fuels debate on COVID-19 origin. Okay, now this is the article that everyone's freaking out about. 3 researchers from China's Wuhan Institute of Virology became sick enough in November 2019 that they sought hospital care, according to a previously undisclosed U.S. intelligence report that could add weight to growing calls for a fuller probe of whether the COVID-19 virus may have escaped from the laboratory. The details of the reporting go beyond a State Department fact sheet issued during the final days of the Trump administration, which said that several researchers at the lab, a center for a study of coronaviruses and other pathogens, became sick in autumn of 2019 with symptoms consistent of both COVID-19 and common seasonal illnesses. The disclosure of the number of researchers, the timing of their illnesses, and their hospital visits come on the eve of a meeting of a World Health Organization's decision-making body, which is expected to discuss the next phase of an investigation into COVID-19 origins. Current and former officials familiar with the intelligence about the lab researchers expressed differing views about the strength of the supporting evidence for the assessment. One person said that it was provided by an international partner and was potentially significant, but still in need of further investigation and additional cooperation. Another person described the intelligence as stronger. The information that we had coming from the various sources was of exquisite quality. It was very precise. What it didn't tell you was exactly why they got sick, he said, referring to the researchers. November 19th, 2019 was roughly when many epidemiologists and virologists believe SARS-CoV-2, the virus behind the pandemic, first became circling around the central Chinese city of Wuhan, where Beijing says that the first confirmed case was a man who fell ill on December 8th, 2019. The Wuhan Institute hasn't shared raw data, safety logs, and lab records on its extensive work with coronavirus bats, which many considered the most likely source of the virus. Full stop.
Full stop.
It's been over a year since all of the eyes are on Wuhan right now. Like, why? Like, prove it.
I wish that all the eyes were on. Kind of like we're ignoring a lot of the things going on in Wuhan right now, like the parties that are happening, the huge amounts of parties and back to work.
There's rumors of tunnels collapsing,
right,
and stuff, like crazy stuff's going on in Wuhan right now. But we could get sidetracked on that. I want to focus on why haven't they shared this data?
Right. Well,
what's stopping them from sharing this raw data? Why wouldn't they want to be like, here's the data, it's not us, go look elsewhere?
Have you heard, they talked about the anonymous third-party involvement, right? And I think a lot of people point to the idea that Bill Gates was trying to save his marriage from the Epstein thing.
Oh, goodness.
Or Epstein. I don't know if there's a Mandela effect now. But the point is that they tried to change the world around this virus, or the World Health Forum, and then the 201 party, right, in Connecticut, Party Zero. All of these ideas come back to the Wuhan War Games.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
No. What's
that? You might want to Google it or something. Wuhan War Games in 2019 was a international military games convention. It happened around the world. It happened in Wuhan.
Okay.
In America, Germany, China, Russia,
They all played part.
America only brought these really scrawny, nerdy guys. They didn't, and we got worst. We got 301st place in the whole thing.
Okay.
But they were always hanging out at that wet fish market where the Wuhan virus was supposed to have emerged.
Okay.
So there's been a lot of talk that it has to do with the Canadian and American military and paramilitary groups that were designing.
So wait, hold on. Are you introducing a completely new idea right now that it was? Because
I thought people had heard of this one.
Okay, no. China did try putting that out there, it was military intelligence.
Yeah.
But they also tried to slam that it was Italy.
Right.
I mean, look,
Club of Rome.
Straight up, I've got this article here. China accuses Italy of starting COVID pandemic and claims its own study proves it. So, well, which is it then? U.S. intelligence or Italy? I've read that article. I know what you're talking about, and that was debunked. This has been debunked.
The Italian one, are they saying that after Wuhan had a problem that Italy made it worse?
No, the only thing that they're saying here is, well, in Italy, they had a guy who supposedly had something similar to this before our guy in Wuhan had it.
Well,
that's what their statement is here in this.
Yeah, no, that
I mean, it's a long-winded article. That's what they're saying.
China's ground zero for this. Party zero is in Connecticut.
Well, you know what? Even making that bold of a statement is risky right now.
That's so weird.
Because they are banning people. 6 months ago?
Wow.
7 months ago, people were getting booted off the platform for even for saying that it was a Chinese variant. The Chinese virus. I mean, they're like, that's racist, that's bigot. And then they're like, South African variant, Indian variant. It's like, okay, so the Chinese variant, is that allowed? Can we say that?
Okay, this is kind of reasonable, because like at the end of the day, it wasn't China. It's a lab in Wuhan that's been paid for by the American...
Why is the Ebola virus called the Ebola virus?
Well, I mean, it's...
Why? I want an answer, and I know the answer.
It happened in Ebola?
Exactly.
Okay.
So what is that racist? Is that bigoted? No, it's because of the origin. So we should call it the Wuhan virus then.
But you have to also see it like, China does what they're told. All these factories do what they're told. So if somebody made this virus there, like in this one lab, and it's completely isolated from everyone else, then nobody knew about it except for like Microsoft's parent companies run by Bill Gates.
Sure.
So they were just following orders like to the...
I don't know about this connection with Microsoft, but I don't want to get banned for some stuff I don't know about.
Fair enough.
So I don't know anything about that connection, and I want to stay on the origin. Because all of this, the Wall Street Journal, China is trying to deny it all, okay? But all of this stuff, even the White House is like, well, we're going to need a transparent investigation. When they were ripping people apart over the past year about the origin, and that, we need a trusted source. That's what Psaki came out and said. I don't remember exactly. Transparent, independent phase 2 investigation, calling for access to underlying data and information. It says somewhere here that the White House has committed answers. They didn't have like proper stuff. All right, well, Ted Cruz came out in April of 2020. He actually just posted this today. A year ago, more than a year ago, he was talking on The Verdict with Ted Cruz. It's a 6-minute long video, but in the video, he basically comes out and says, I've seen the evidence. Not only have I seen the evidence, I have, in writing from the NIH, connections that U.S. taxpayer dollars was funding that exact lab. Okay, so we know that connected. He came out and said it. I've seen it. So they have had credible sources. That's what Trump was referring to.
But that also shows how we're all implicated in this together. Because, at least the
Well,
states...
no. You just said it wasn't China. It wasn't
China,
the China. Hold on, let me finish my statement. You just said the Chinese citizens, well, they didn't know. They weren't clueless. They didn't have anything. But now you flip it, and you're like, well, we're all implicated now. I didn't know about this.
I don't mean
using your own argument.
I mean like the states, the governments around the world that are providing viruses, and these pharmaceutical agencies and companies that are not able to do things in the United States, so they get an island somewhere else, or they get somewhere in China, or they buy and build a company in China that's owned by the American company, or La Roche, so Swiss companies that own American companies that own Chinese companies that are working in Africa and Vietnam.
Anything to circumvent any sort of regulations, they just go anywhere else because it doesn't matter.
You kind of have to look
how
at that
dare
system.
you, America, cut back on environmental stuff? It's like, look elsewhere.
We're acting everywhere else, but you have to acknowledge that we're creating the human race is creating these viruses.
Okay, so you're speaking as a whole in this situation.
Yeah,
but we can't do that when, supposedly it came from Wuhan. Which is what this
report... But it did originally. It was built and then brought to Wuhan, and then they engineered the COVID-19
It was
strain.
built where?
Well, their strain, I think COVID-13 or 12, came from Canada, right?
How do you know that?
Because it's
Where's
on the
that
internet.
information
You can
come?
go wiki it. Like COVID-19...
Wikipedia.
Yeah, because COVID-19...
Wikipedia is where you got that. All right,
I mean,
I'm
well,
sorry, I don't
not-
trust
not,
Wikipedia.
Not straight Wikipedia.
I've seen
Like, you
enough
get-
Wikipedia articles to know that they skew it also, and people can edit it.
That's true, but the thing is, the way it works is a coronavirus is just a kind of bacteriophage and a different
Right.
kind of virus. And
Exactly.
then you have COVID strains, and COVID strains have been documented in labs for generations, like
Okay.
literally thousands of generations.
Right.
So now they've gotten to a point where they sell and they trade them. So there are COVID strains that go to Japan and go to Russia, and then they're working on COVID strains so that they can build antibacterial or antiviral.
Okay, but in that same statement though, we caught a spy
Right.
in
And
2019
Exactly.
that was bringing samples of SARS-1, the
Yeah.
first one, to our universities in vials in their freaking bag
And that's just one person
from
we caught.
China.
Yeah.
That's the person we caught.
Yeah.
So, okay, oh, well, it's from Canada. Well, who's to say where it's originally from?
Exactly.
We don't know.
And it changes all the
I'm not going
time.
to do this dance. I know that from what I'm seeing is that this specific pandemic, the variant that's gotten out, that's caused the world to basically completely shift directions for still a year, it hasn't even ended, came from Wuhan. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we can agree to that, right?
Totally.
Well, it's interesting because look at this. Anthony Fauci just crushed Donald Trump's theory on the origins of coronavirus. Evidence says coronavirus could not have been artificially or deliberately manipulated in a lab.
What?
And now we've got Fauci saying, well, he's not convinced COVID developed naturally, backs investigation. What is What is up with this guy?
I know. He's a
What is
PR
up with Fauci?
He's a PR spinner. It's so crazy.
He is a PR spinner. This is from May 1st, 2020. Check us out. Trump contradicts the U.S. intel community by claiming he's seen evidence coronavirus originated in the Chinese lab. But this is from May 1st. Okay, so we had Ted Cruz coming out in April of 2020 saying, I've seen evidence. We've got it. It's good quality evidence. We have even more evidence saying that there is the NIH was participating with coronavirus vaccines, like in investigations. Like they were doing work openly. They were openly talking about it. And then Trump's like, yeah, I've seen information that it's from Wuhan. And they're like, holy cow, this guy is such a bigot, such a xenophobe. And it just, man, it's so ridiculous to the point where, look at this in India, COVID cases. Have you heard about things in India yet lately?
A little bit, not too much.
No, the news has kind of died down around it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. COVID cases in India drop after government promotes
There you go.
Trump drugs. That's right. Hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin.
Nice.
They're promoting these. And now we're not hearing about the problem in India as much. It's not mainstream news anymore. Why? Because was he correct again? Was he right about the origins of the Wuhan virus? Or, excuse me, the coronavirus? Came from Wuhan, from what I'm seeing. So, I mean, I kind of want to call it like it is.
Interesting that like hydroxychloroquine could have any effect because that's the malaria drug, right?
Mm-hmm.
So malaria is like a very different kind of disease from the
Yep.
way we've been described.
And it's been prescribed for decades.
Do you know where they get
Decades. It's been used.
Do you know where they get the natural bark? It's called Jesuit bark.
No, I don't know it.
Jesuit bark is where they get the hydrochloroquine that they make into hydroxychloroquine. It's pretty weird.
Hey, neighbor, did you hear that Dr. Fauci is now close the door on you. Thank you,
What?
Gina. That was hilarious. Man, you can say a lot with memes.
Yeah.
Howdy, neighbor. That's what people were saying. You know what? Let me just keep on with it. Look at this. Trump's baseless wiretap claim. This is March 5th, 2017.
How is he right about so many
Donald
things?
Trump just
Like he's a
flat
time
out
traveler.
lied about Trump Tower wiretapping September 5th, 2017. Exclusive U.S. government wiretapped former Trump campaign chairman September 18th, 2017. This is just non-stop. This is part of the reason that I got red-pilled last year. Because being on the show with Tim, I didn't like being told I was wrong. I was like, I'm going to do some research. I'm going to find out things for myself. And I did. And then I started cross-referencing for myself. Then I wasn't even doing it for the show anymore. I was just doing it for me. I'm like, how deep does this rabbit hole go? How much am I being lied to with the media? Which turns out an awful lot. This is from my Discord, by the way. Shout out to my Discord. Just nonstop. All sorts of great examples. FBI forced to debunk conspiracy theory that Antifa extremists set fires in Oregon. Do you remember the fires being set in Oregon?
Yeah.
People were like, whoa, what is it? No, it's all natural. Well, actually, no, people were being arrested. This is from Andy No. Portland police arrested a man today suspected of starting a brush fire using a Molotov cocktail. I was very heavily into the news at this moment, and I remember all of these. That wasn't the only story to come out. There's video evidence of people walking around with lighters, with burning rags, Molotov cocktails, lighting fires in California or in Oregon.
Same though, also.
It's in California also. Yeah, exactly. Donald Trump is actually a moderate Republican. That's why he's winning. Donald Trump is a fascist.
Man, it's like you're picking flower petals. You know?
It's just insane. Which one is it? What is it?
He's a fascist.
Same exact person. It continues. It's insane. Melody Trump's RNC fashion, a scary statement. She's wearing all white. This was July 19th, 2016 by a Elizabeth Wellington. And look at this, July 28th, just 9 days later, DNC fashion, Hillary Clinton looked presidential in an all-white pantsuit.
It looks like a white flag. I always
Same
thought
person.
surrender, you know?
Like, this media back and forth is so ridiculous. Well, what's this? If you're not already sick and you're not a healthcare worker, you don't need to wear a mask. I'm literally reading the Washington Post right now, YouTube. I'm not saying that. And you certainly don't need to buy every box that your local pharmacy has in stock. And then just moments later, Trump dons mask in public for the first time months after public health experts said everyone should. Fauci came out. You don't need to wear a mask. You can trust me. It's not going to stop it anyway. And then, of course, they were like, we should maybe wear masks forever. Because look, it got rid of the flu. Did you see that when he was like, well, the flu is practically all gone?
I was imagining, what if we lived in a world where instead of masks, we got to wear rubber, like the gloves that Bugs Bunny gets to wear, and like that becomes
the big, huge bubble gloves.
That would have been a better timeline.
A disinformation campaign falsely suggests that Canadians will be forcibly sent to quarantine sites. It's mandatory now. 2 men, both now at home, are amongst the few willing to speak publicly about their mandatory stays at Calgary's isolation hotel.
What?
Okay. Which has been transformed into a federal quarantine facility. Have you heard about this?
It sounds like a gulag.
Yo, Canada's scary, man.
Yeah, it is.
They are setting up ice cream pop-up vaccination centers for kids, convincing them, giving them free ice cream, and get the kicker. You ready for this? Without parental consent.
Oh, yeah.
A kid can walk up and be like, I want an ice cream. They're like, sure, like, get the vaccine.
Wow.
Okay. Get the vaccine, you get an ice cream. How do the vaccination centers know that they've been vaccinated already? Who knows? Maybe they have double vaccine. Is that going to hurt them? Who knows? Just give them free ice cream. We just got Ohio giving $5 million.
Wow.
To 5 lucky people. $1 million each to 5 lucky people.
Vax lottery?
A vax lottery.
Whoa.
Vaccinations went up 25% in the state.
Oh my gosh.
Because people wanted money. They're convincing people to get the vaccination by giving away money, having
free
a lottery.
Beer. I've seen free beer for vaccination.
Free beer?
Yeah.
New York was doing that.
This is like
have a burger and fries. It's like, what is going on?
But the kids thing is creepy. That's like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yo, tell me about it.
Lollipops, free candy for today.
The child snatcher, man.
Yeah.
Yo,
the child
straight
snatcher.
Up. Yeah, come have some free candy.
That's messed up.
I'm also gonna, take you.
Let me show you the quarantine zone.